Hey, thanks so much for finding the video. Do us a favor. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Be sure to leave your comment. We love to interact. Enjoy the video. Drew Brees, 5 fractured ribs, a collapsed lung. How much time is he going to miss?
Look, they're exploring injured reserve, which would keep him out at least 3 weeks. I feel like that's probably the suitable timetable. But here's the thing. It could be 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I mean, we don't know. It's not like he's having surgery on a thumb and he can rehab a thumb and almost strengthen it. I mean, you just got to let those ribs heal. But I can tell you the punctured lung isn't the major concern. It's the ribs. And look, if you go back to the Tampa game and you watch the shot he took from Shaquille Barrett, I mean, that's when he originally got injured. And he was going to try to basically play through it. And then his other side just gets smashed, by a street from the 49ers. And so, look, the fact he was even able to get up and play a few drives and lead a 2-minute drill down the field, I think that's got to show you that he's, for a smallish, brittle 41-year-old man, apparently, that he's still pretty tough.
I don't think there's any question, man. The fact that he went and led the 2-minute offense is remarkable and goes to show you also what adrenaline can do. So we know Drew Brees is going to be shelved for some amount of time. The obvious question is about Jameis, and is this his audition?
I think it has to be. Now, I'm not going to discount Taysom Hill seeing more snaps than he did last year when Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback. But I do think that this is got to be Jameis's audition, whether it's for the Saints or for someone else. And I think that this scenario is vastly different than what we saw with Teddy Bridgewater, because Teddy Bridgewater was basically Drew Brees light. I mean, he does the same sort of thing, protects the football, doesn't take a lot of shots. So it's not like Sean Payton really had to change up the way he would play call an offense or even coach a quarterback. Depending on who he goes with for the vast majority of the time, I assume it's Jameis Winston. And even if it's Taysom Hill, I mean, he's going to have to adapt to how Jameis plays, or have Jameis try to adapt to him. Like, this is a bigger challenge for sure than getting Teddy Bridgewater ready, just because, like I said, he's Drew Brees light, essentially.
Okay, in what way is Winston different? Because my perception would be, hey, man, the offense I saw for the bulk of the second half with Jameis Winston didn't look that different from what the Saints typically do.
Well, on the fly, you're not going to change it. I mean, so if you have a game plan and you like certain plays, I don't think you're going to totally change this thing up. But this is kind of a tease for an article that's going to be coming out at some point tomorrow on The Athletic. I'm comparing Jameis Winston's strengths on certain throws compared to Teddy Bridgewater and to Drew Brees, and their skill sets are different. I mean, there's no question about it. And I'm wondering how Sean Payton can either keep Jameis back from making risky throws, or does Sean Payton let Jameis let it loose? Like, I think that is the big question and the challenge that Sean's going to have. And, does he put Taysom in a lot more and have him throw more? Because there's not as long. I went trying to figure out what are Taysom's strengths and which routes he throws well, and guess what? His sample size is obviously very small. So we don't really know. And so I think that is the challenge that Sean Payton, I'm sure right now in the Saints facility, is trying to figure out which way to go with this.
Larry, couldn't I argue, though, that the sample size for Jameis Winston isn't small? He was a starter for 5 years in Tampa. We know what he does well. And I would argue the Saints know as well as anyone because they've played him for the last 5 years twice a year.
No, I was saying Taysom Hill's sample size.
Oh, my bad.
No, Jameis, I mean, we know who he is, like, right now. He hasn't, like, totally changed and become check down and safe passes and this, that, and the other. Like, so that's the thing. Does Sean Payton want to let him try to still be Jameis? And because if you scale him back, maybe that makes him apprehensive and he makes mistakes there too. Like, that's the balance in that. I'm talking if he wants Taysom Hill.
Didn't we get? I'm sorry. Just let me interrupt. Didn't we get that answer on Sunday? Like, for everyone who screamed and hollered about Taysom being the guy, like, it's not Taysom. They had that option for 2 years in a row, and they've gone to different guys. It's not him. It's never going to be him. Like, isn't that the answer? Didn't we come to this answer now for the second consecutive year? It's not going to be Taysom?
Well, I would say in the short term, it shouldn't be Taysom, but I'm not saying that past this year. Like, I think it's open audition. I don't think if I'm the Saints, I would not have a concrete answer. Like, I wouldn't say Jameis is a guy, Taysom's a guy, or even, my best friend Kyle Trask, who you think is a steaming pile of
I
beauty.
didn't say he's a steaming pile of dung, but I'm also not going to say that Jameis is definitively the guy. What I will definitively say is it's not going to be Taysom Hill. This is 2 years in a row now. Sean Payton has had the opportunity to see if Taysom Hill can be an NFL starter, and twice in a row, Sean Payton has said, I'll go with the other guy. Like, he's given you the answer. He's a gadget player. He's a fun change of pace. That's all he is. He's never going to be a starter.
We need an answer more this week and then in the future. I'm just
answer. He's given us the answer.
Me, preferably, I don't think he should be the answer. Like, I've said this, and when they signed Jameis Winston way back when, and talked about this, I said he's the same answer as Teddy Bridgewater. Like, he's the one who should be playing. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. But Sean Payton wants to, at times, be smarter than everyone else, and maybe he thrusts him in there more than we think. Like, I think we need to prepare ourselves for that possibility. I don't think it's a probability, but it's a possibility that he plays more than we think.
Okay. We're short on time. A couple other things. Is some of this largely moot just because the defense has been playing so much better?
Well, I think they need them to continue to play better. I'm not going to say, wow, they're a ready-made product and now they're very good. I'm not going to do that yet. But they need them to play well, special teams to play well. That's happened in the last few weeks, and they need that going forward. And you look at the defensive front, obviously playing better. You can go across the board. And once Sheldon Rankins gets healthy again, that's another piece of the puzzle. I think we cannot ignore that Quan Alexander came in and made an impact immediately, so much so where Demario Davis couldn't believe how fast he plays, which means Alex Anzalone's pretty slow.
Yep.
So he's not going to be playing ever again unless there's an injury with the Saints. And so I think you can interchange. Quan Alexander can blitz or play coverage. Demario Davis can blitz or play coverage. That mixes things up and gives the Saints a different element. We need to see if Marshawn Lattimore is healthy. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, it seems like he's going to be okay, but you're seeing a way more confident defense than we saw a month ago, no doubt.
You worried about Atlanta this week?
A little. I think because of the quarterback scenario, obviously, but I do think that the Saints defense is not totally immune to having Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley break through. Like, I don't think Todd Gurley's going to run all over him by any stretch of the imagination, but Matt Ryan has played this team many, many times, and we've seen just randomness through the years where the Falcons might have their number. So I'm not gonna say they're not a worry, because I think there's a little worry.
The game last year coming off the bye, the just complete stink fest is the thing that makes me go, eh. But you lose Drew. You have that fresh in your memory from a year ago. I mean, isn't it human nature that you would lock in a little more considering what happened last year?
You'd think.
I do.
They locked in at Seattle with Teddy Bridgewater making his first start in a long, long time. So you would think that they know that they need to lock in with Drew not being there.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.